What is going on, everybody? It's KB. Before the episode starts, make sure you go check out StreamerSZN's brand new theme music. That's right. We have full-time, brand new theme music thanks to the newest homie and newest member of the music side of Underground Sports Philadelphia homies. That is Mobley. Stay Volk. His new single is out now. It is linked in the description on YouTube, and you'll be hearing it on audio until we can figure out if we can play it on video on StreamerSZN episodes from here on out. That's our new theme music. Stay Volk. Go download it now wherever you get your music, and go check out the music video on YouTube. But now, let's get into the episode of StreamerSZN.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Not only is it a big week for the birds, it's a big week for the TV and movies, especially on this Sunday, everybody. Let's fucking go! What is going on, fellow streamers? Welcome into another edition of StreamerSZN, the exclusive streaming platform TV and movie podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. It's KB and Christian coming at you with another episode of the pod. Harrison will join me later as we dive into your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But a fun episode that we have planned here as we record this on Friday prior to the big game, if you will, which is always a big day, obviously, for the NFL, but it's also a huge day for the entertainment world with TV and movies. So we will dive into speculation on things we're going to see throughout commercials, trailers that will pop up, and why this is such a big day for those moments, and kind of just what Super Bowl TV ratings mean to the overall zeitgeist of TV and entertainment.
Nothing.
And then we will get into everybody's favorite segment, the Streaming Platform Multiverse news and notes. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at StreamerSZN and StreamerSZN Pod on TikTok. Follow Christian at the Wiz_PHI. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the pod on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow, and it allows all of our other shows on the network to continue to gain eyes and traction and allow them to grow as well. So keep subscribing on Apple and Spotify and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It's all on our YouTube channel. And ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We hit 1,000 subscribers.
It's time, Kyle.
It's time. We need to 100x that, and we need to go plaque chasing.
Yes. Oh, okay. So you have to watch Game of Thrones.
Yes, I do.
We have to drag Dylan to what again?
He has to cosplay as a character from any show or movie we have watched on the pod.
Well, I mean, I think at this point he would have to be Loki.
That's true.
And just be time slipping in and out.
Bald Loki.
And then we never landed on what I would do, but I'm sure we'll figure that out at some point.
We'll figure that out for sure. But yes, Game of Thrones. I got so caught up in us actually hitting the 1,000 subscribers that I completely, until you just brought that up, forgot that, yeah, Game of Thrones Season 1 will be on my watch. And I'm not talking this one right here. But yes,
Shame.
I'll be watching Season 1 of Game of Thrones. Matt and Dom are supposed to go back and relive the 2006 World Cup. And I believe the only other show might have been Get in the Hole that came up with something. But all of our shows will be doing something to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. But that doesn't mean to stop subscribing. That means keep on subscribing. YouTube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. We are currently sitting at 1,004 subscribers. Let's get to 1,100. 1,100 is the next goal. The next 1,000 is the next goal. So keep subscribing. YouTube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Let's get into it, Christian. Super Bowl is this week, the big game, whatever you want to call it, for legal reasons. But obviously, we have a vested interest in the game. But also, on top of the game, we have the entertainment aspect, the TV and movie industry involved. Let's start with the research that that you had going on pre-pod, and we're going to try to predict some of the big feature films that we will get trailers for throughout the big games broadcast.
Okay, so to be clear, I'm going to state there's going to be a difference between two different things here. There's the things we're going to get an ad for at some point, and then there's the premieres, the trailer premieres. So, for example, this past year, it was Twisters, it was Wicked, it was Deadpool and Wolverine. All were Super Bowl premieres. And there's one or two others I'm forgetting. So, when I'm looking at this, I'm going, it's okay if there's been like a teaser for it, but there hasn't been a full trailer. So there's a main grouping I'm looking at. If we're trying to find a Deadpool equivalency, we're getting a Superman trailer. Because we only technically have the teaser, and I've been saying this since weeks before we got the teaser. Superman trailer on the Super Bowl makes the most sense in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
It gets you the most audience, and it gets one of the most iconic characters in front of the most people possible. Another movie that's I'm kind of grouping these together because they're also set to come out on the same weekend. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, and Pixar's Elio. And so, for those of you who don't know, there was technically an Elio trailer that was dropped. Do you know the one problem with that, Kyle?
I do not.
This movie was punted so far where this was originally slated to come out like last fall or like last summer, and now it's set to come out in June.
Nice.
So, in essence, this would be the first proper trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's going to be fighting How to Train Your Dragon. So, once again, these are two movies that don't really have full-on proper trailers, so they make sense. Two other June movies of note. One that I didn't really think about until now. Are we gonna? And they were literally still filming stuff as of like 2 months ago. But the F1 movie feels due for a proper trailer. Shout out to our Underground Circuit crew.
Yes.
It feels due for a trailer. Given it comes out on June 27th and all we have is the teaser that has the limited footage, like we're basically 4 months away and we don't have a proper trailer. Something's got to give.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Similarly, Megan 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
There was technically, I guess you would call it a teaser during the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't even call that much of a teaser. It's just like an ad, more than anything else. There's been some rumblings around a trailer for the Smurfs animated musical, which would also be a world premiere. And really, outside of that, the only other thing I could see a quote-unquote premiere trailer for of things that are currently on the running slate thank you. There's three things, though I think only one of them has a high likelihood. Avatar: Fire and Ash, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to tie that to Mission Impossible when it comes out in theaters, and it's called Play on all the IMAX screens. Zootopia 2, but if Disney is investing in Elio, then there's no reason. And then maybe because they filmed it all together, we just get the second Wicked trailer on the Super Bowl.
That's true. That could also happen. Were you shocked that the Fantastic Four didn't wait?
I was surprised. I would and speaking of movies, I was surprised. Jurassic World didn't wait.
Yeah, that also shocked me.
Now, if you want to think about this in a bigger sense, what this essentially means here is because Jurassic World is Universal. Universal's theoretically putting their weight behind something else, which would lean you towards Wicked or Wicked or something else. Fantastic Four, a similar thing, but at the same time, they may know Superman is lurking, and a full Superman trailer would take the air out of any of them and would suck all the oxygen out for the most part. Whereas Apple's just kind of sitting here like, oh, we sponsor the halftime show, and oh, we can just drop the F1 thing because it's our big movie we're sending to theaters. Please come and see it, and it has Brad Pitt and F1 guys, yeah. But at the same time, I have like a weird suspicion that if F1 doesn't drop here, they're going to tie it into the first F1 race of the season. But then they're only 3 months away at that point, which feels weird. But yeah, but we are supposedly going to get TV spots for Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and all those movies. Oh, I forgot to mention one movie that I would be shocked if we didn't get a trailer for, because we only have the teaser. Lilo and Stitch. We don't have an actual trailer for that, and we have the teaser. That movie comes out on May 23rd. That's 5.5 months. That's 3.5 months. Surely, we get something there. Like we've gotten trailers for Final Destination Bloodlines, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, Karate Kid Legends, Thunderbolts. It's like the only big quote unquote big movie left in that month that does not have a trailer out.
That's a good point. I'm trying to think of anything else that would like catch us by surprise potentially.
So I will throw one thing out there. So last year, as some people may or may not remember, there was one TV show that was advertised the shit out of on the Super Bowl. Kyle, do you remember what show that was?
Oh, TV show.
There was one TV show that they had like 3 ads for.
What outlet, like channel or platform?
You could watch it on Hulu.
I don't know.
It was Shogun. So
right.
So I've got to take. I'm gonna uncork here. I don't know if they're going to if they've been able to turn it around. But given what we know about the TV slate, coming in the second half of this year. Is it too early for Stranger Things? Is it too early for that? Cause the thing with Shogun is it pretty much dropped right after the Super Bowl. But the thing is, there's really no major show that like they aren't going to do a Squid Game because they aren't going to drop Squid Game. TV show schedule 2025. Like we're in a weird spot where, as of now, there's no major thing, and it's like could they do a SNL 50th anniversary thing? Sure, but I'm not counting that as a TV show.
I also don't know if they would do that on Fox.
Ooh. Well, I mean, Fox bought Disney, so shrug. Sorry, Disney bought all the Fox shit. But
SNL on NBC.
I just realized this. Oh wait, no, they already dropped the trailer for it, so Disney probably isn't putting their weight behind Daredevil, even though it would make sense in that way.
Yeah,
similar to Shogun. What could we get? Oh wait, Kyle. Andor? Andor's April 22nd.
It's that early, yeah.
And we don't have a trailer, right?
I don't think so.
Do we? So yeah, like that's definitely something I feel like that could drop.
Ironheart, maybe too.
No. They aren't gonna waste. They aren't gonna waste the Super Bowl to try and blow up to try and blow up Ironheart. If anything, they would have used the Super Bowl for Fantastic Four because that's the launching point.
So surprised.
You need for. Yeah, I know. And like really through the end of this year, like there's nothing like basically we don't know anything slated past June. Which
tells me we'll probably get another Daredevil like trailer that not like
sure, but like
obviously, but
sure, but like I'm talking about premieres and because that was under because Shogun was under the Disney umbrella, I feel like we could be getting Andor.
That's true.
I feel like we could be getting Andor, but then again, I could just be crazy.
I mean, that would make we haven't seen anything from season 2, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
I do know we'll get the Masked Singer shoved down our throats. Yeah, I mean, I think outside of the premiere trailers, we'll probably get new look at Thunderbolts. I would be shocked if we didn't.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of summer blockbuster trailers and ads, and then some assorted stuff scattered throughout.
Yeah, I like the Andor call though. Maybe later in the game you get a U trailer for the final season. They might have dropped that already too. I don't know if they just dropped like promotional ads for that, like graphics or whatever. But yeah, Andor makes sense for sure. Is one that would like kind of pop out of nowhere, especially with how well it did for season 1. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. What do you think the Superman trailer is first? Is that like the first thing we get?
In terms of the movie stuff?
Yeah. Because obviously, like the big corporate brands will be first, like your Pepsis and Doritos and Reese's and everything. But
Okay, let's think of it like this. I don't think it's F1. I don't think it's Wicked. I don't think it's Elio. I don't think it's How to Train Your Dragon. I don't think it's Megan. I would say it's, if I had to put money on something, it's either Superman or Lilo and Stitch, I think. If I had to guess which new movie trailer gets premiered, it's one of those two.
yeah,
Mm.
I'd be shocked.
Kyle's getting a call, everybody. Kyle's getting a call.
I'd be shocked if we didn't get Superman first, because I feel like it's just like setting up to
I
get everyone talking like during the game.
Yeah, I would think Superman would be first. At the same time, I don't trust Zaslav to be that smart.
Yeah, that's also true. And on a quote unquote like competing network, if you will, but
Nah.
I'd be stunned.
Competing in what?
Yeah, I would bank on Superman being first, I think. Because it makes the most sense to have not only because obviously the game kicks off at 6:30, so you figure if it drops, within the first quarter or so, you have the most eyes watching in terms of not only our age demo of adult, but the older adult and the younger kid who's also watching it, whatever Super Bowl watch party or whatever it may be. I think they want to get as many eyes as possible.
Yeah, like they're going to in theory front load Superman, Lilo and Stitch, and maybe Elio, even though that's two Disneys. And I would say those are the like three I would predict to get within the first hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we're going to get more in the first hour, but those three are the ones that need the first hour more.
Yeah. Obviously Super Bowl commercials are a tale as old as time. What brand do you think gets first bill?
I honestly have no clue. All I know is I'm looking forward to every year I look forward to what Doritos cooks up.
Those commercials that have been slowly coming out have been so goddamn funny.
Like ever since the dog in the sliding glass door, I'm always like, give me whatever Doritos is doing.
Yes. I saw one. Have you seen any of them?
No, I did.
Fan made. There's one that I saw. It's a guy in a barbershop getting his haircut, and he's got an afro, and the barber is like doing typical like barbershop talk and everything. And then the guy in the barber chair sees the hand of the barber slowly get in front of his face, and he's got Dorito dust on his fingers. And the guy in the barber chair like just pops the guy's finger in his mouth. And then he gets thrown out of the barbershop. He's still got like the apron on and everything. He turns to the side, half of his afro shaved down, half of it's not, but he's happy as all get out because he's got a bag of Doritos. The dog sliding door and we got two rules in this house. Keep your hands off my mama and keep your hands off my Doritos. All time. I know Reese's is going all out this year for the Super Bowl as well. So
yeah, the thing with trying to predict brands is there's just too many. It's like I'd friggin' spin the wheel. though I do know, because Fox now has IndyCar.
Yes.
That there's talk of up to 3 IndyCar ads.
Holy moly!
Which is sure to make a winning case you go woo 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 woo, like that plus an F1 trailer will have them buzzing.
Yes, especially because Casey and Owen are going to IndyCar in St. Pete at the end of March. I'm also. It's so funny because you try to predict that first commercial, and every year everyone's like, they flip flop between, oh, it's going to be Pepsi or it's going to be a car commercial, and whatever one you pick, it's the complete opposite.
Here's the better question: what's going to be the surprise one of this year? So for example, last year we got how many Temu ads?
Right. That the Coinbase commercial a couple years ago.
So how many different AI companies are we going to get? One, two,
Gag
two?
me. I'll throw a surprise one out there. I think we might get a garage beer commercial.
Okay.
I could see that. I could see try to think of like those random brands too, not ones that you've seen pop up like a ton, but because like I know like Mountain Dew is probably going to have a commercial.
Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Blue Chew.
One thing I just thought of, because I had my movie thing still up, and given the halftime show, I doubt anything happens. I doubt, but Kendrick in that Trey Parker movie, like I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, Kendrick doing the Super Bowl and that being a midsummer movie, I doubt something pops up, but I mean that would be a really sneaky cross branding opportunity.
What if his co-star, because he just did the interview with him, is Chalamet?
Chalamet slouching as low as he possibly can. Because Kendrick's 5'5" and he's 5'10".
That was so funny optically. That's a good call though. That's a good thought. I'm also trying to think, like, I feel like we'll get like a Dr. Pepper ad because they just dropped a new flavor. So we'll probably get something in that realm.
Hershey's, a Budweiser, a Miller Lite,
Coors Light. We'll probably get the train again.
FanDuel.
Oh, I'll get maybe another out of the blue. Will be another new like Tick Pick commercial, the ticketing app.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Fanatics, anyone?
Maybe we get like a we might get some sort of like new like Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad type of commercial like late in the game.
Ooh, wait, hold on. Let's. I know he's unfortunately going to be in the building, but are we going to get a televised message from the Orange Man?
Apparently he's doing an interview at 3 p.m. on the pregame.
3 p. I'm not counting that, but
I hope not. That would. There's no need for that. How many underdog fantasy commercials are we gonna get?
I'll set the over/under at half.
I'll take the over. How
many commercials involving Jason Kelce?
So what's he got? Marriott, Campbell's. I think they just signed with DraftKings. He's with Buffalo Wild Wings. I'll take over 1.5. I like the over 1.5 there. Do we get a commercial for Kendrick's tour after the halftime show?
No, maybe there's like a momentary like 5 or 10, 15 second thing, but I don't think we get like an actual ad because they just don't do actual ads for.
Probably be like, scan this QR code to get your tickets.
Yeah. Some bullshit.
Surprise guests at the halftime show.
I mean, we already know SZN, right?
Correct. She is confirmed.
Weren't people joking about like Metro?
Yeah, and Future. I said it would be objectively hilarious if Kendrick. This would be all-time Kendrick move too, to bring J. Cole up.
For some reason that like wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. It's also not going to surprise me when he brings Lil Wayne on stage. After everyone was up in arms about Lil Wayne not getting the bill for it, and then just yesterday Lil Wayne announced the Carter 6 is coming in June. So
and it's in New Orleans. So yeah. Who does Kendrick have duets with?
Imagine Dragons, Taylor Swift.
No. well, she'll be in the building. J-Rock.
Yeah, J-Rock. Schoolboy Q, I think, is a lock because he was on TDE, which is Kendrick's label. Also, SZA was on that label. I think Schoolboy Q is almost a lock. J-Rock, I would not be surprised. Absol, I would not be surprised.
Meek? Meek? Anyone Meek? See, part of me wants to just be like Dre, but also it's just like that's way too on the nose, and also like this isn't in LA, so there's not as much Dre incentive.
Pusha T maybe because Pusha T had beef with Drake and they have a song together.
Everyone keep Drake away from the TV. Like, so the real question is over or under on the number of diss tracks played.
I'll take Not Like Us is definitely happening.
So the line is 1.5.
I'll take the over.
Yeah.
Because I think they'll do Like That, which is then when Future will come out on stage and they'll perform that. And if Schoolboy Q comes out, they have a collab as well. Yeah, I like the over for 1.5. Oh, we might also get the Black Panther song with Kendrick and SZA as well. All the Stars, which would be sick. So when it comes to the big game as well, everyone talks about like TV ratings and how the Super Bowl is always like one of the top 50 viewed, television programs every single year. I think the numbers will go up this year because people are going to be hate watching the Chiefs. Eagles are in it. Eagles always draw TV numbers. And looking at the past 2 years where Super Bowl 57, Eagles, Chiefs, also on Fox, average viewers millions, 114.21, and it got a TV rating of 40.4. Last year's game, Chiefs in it again, the first Taylor Swift Super Bowl, yada, yada, yada. 120.25 average viewers in millions and got a rating of 42.1. I think the numbies could go up again. And 2015 is kind of where things peaked initially and then had a steadfast drop through 2022. And then since Super Bowl 57, which was Chiefs Eagles Part 1, it's gone back up again. I think we could see an increase again in viewership, even though people are like, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. You're going to watch. Bullshit. Shut up. Sit down. Eat your food. Turn the TV on. But I do think it's going to be a huge spark in viewership this year. From, Swifties are now indoctrinated in the NFL. It's a Super Bowl rematch of the two best teams, no matter how you dice it. You are watching a team that's attempting to go for a three-peat, but guess what? They're not going to do it. And you're watching a demon slayer in the Philadelphia Eagles, who have the most handsome quarterback in the NFL, and people like handsome. But what do you think with the spike in numbers? And obviously in a couple of years we'll have the ESPN proper Super Bowl for the first time since ever, I believe, because it was obviously ABC has had it, but it's never been proper on ESPN. What do you think it does when it comes to these networks? And obviously all the big networks have their own streaming platform as well.
I mean, one thing we're kind of underselling is that the Super Bowl this year is going to be streaming on Tubi.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they have a deal to have it be on Tubi. So those numbers are going to be even higher.
That's a good point. I did actually know that because I think the Rizzler was advertising that Super Bowl was going to be.
Don't grifters. Don't bring them up to me. I hate grifters more than anything in the world. Well, that's not true. I hate, oh boy, Nazis more.
That's something a Nazi would say.
That is quickly becoming one of the great meme templates with how things are going. Funny. Right now it's like, well, gonna break this one out again. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Super Bowl's fascinating when you're watching at home because there is so much involved beyond the game as well, and obviously we will be more dialed in to the game because of our team participating in said game. But
no, really,
it does always fascinate me, like how in tune and how much of a spectacle the Super Bowl truly is for not only the sport of football, but just the entertainment world as a whole. It's all eyes on your product, all eyes on your intellectual property in front of millions and millions and millions.
And millions.
But yeah, I'm excited. I feel good about the game too. And it's going to be a doozy of a time. Let us know how you think some of these trailers and premieres and everything will tune out. Your predictions for the first commercial, anything like that, leave it in the YouTube comment section. But I am going to flip on over to.
Hold-
Oh, go ahead.
One other movie I do want to bring up is we may get something for Novocaine, which is the Jack Quaid action comedy thing.
True.
Anyway,
I'm going to whip on over to the Spideyverse with Harrison, break down the first couple episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But before I do, I want to talk to you guys about our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. They've got stuff for the big game. They've got you covered to make sure you stand out in the crowd with official Streamer Season merch as well. Go to phiapparel.co when you're ready to check out. Have your cart filled up to the gills. Use code UNDERGROUND. You'll get 10% off your next merch order. Stand out in the crowd, whether you're watching and Netflix and chilling from home. You got to be comfy and cozy this time of year. Going out to the movie theater, or you just want to have a really badass hoodie like our Streamer Season hoodie. Go to phiapparel.co and use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order. And now, without any further ado, here is Harrison and myself whipping along to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Pew, 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 pew.
The whip.
Bring me Spider-Man. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another KB and Harrison segment here on Streamer Season as we break down Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the all-new Marvel animation program on the old Disney Plus machine. We are very excited about this show, and we're going to dive into it. It was a 2-episode premiere, which we have the schedule breakdown as well, so you know how many episodes we'll be breaking down at a given time over the course of the next couple of weeks. Harris. Oh, I just went wonky.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
It would not be an Underground Sports Philadelphia production without a little Wi-Fi issues. But here is the schedule for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man release-wise. So the first 2 episodes released January 29th. Then episodes 3, 4, and 5 will release on February 5th. February 12th will be episodes 6, 7, and 8. And then February 19th will be episodes 9 and 10. So we will have 3 episodes next week, 3 episodes the following, and then 2-episode finale. So it's a 2-3-3-2 breakdown there, which will be very, very fun. We'll break down these first 2 episodes, get into it. We'll also just give our general thoughts on what this project could be from Disney, especially since it's on Disney Plus and it's Spider-Man, which is fascinating to me. And we will also discuss all of the episode titles for the upcoming episodes that are out, and kind of pick the brains there. And I think, Harrison, for this show, it's kind of different from a Skeleton Crew or shows we've done in the past, where I think this is a show. Christian and I did this with X-Men 97. We kind of judge the show as an entity rather than episode by episode.
I agree.
I think that makes more sense for a show like this.
Yes. This is a very comic booky show. This is not one that's going to be judged based on one issue or one episode. You need to wait until the run is over in order to fully judge it. So
100%.
I agree with you 100%.
So we will get into this, but before we get into the episode breakdowns, just your overall thoughts on your initial look at this show when it was first announced and released versus what we got in these first 2 episodes and how you've perceived the show so far. Being that, for those that don't know, Harrison, massive Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, let me just say real quick my top 5 superheroes, because it's going to be a big year for my top 5. Is Spider-Man, Nightwing, Superman, Daredevil, and Invincible. And we're getting content for at least 4 of those 5. Maybe Nightwing pops up in some way, shape, or form in the new DC universe. That is yet to be seen. but this is a huge year for me in terms of my fandom, right? And I was excited to see what we were gonna get, based on the trailer. It was clearly a fresh take on the character, and I'm all for changing the character in service of a good plot. Shout out Cosmonaut Marcus, another great, like, superhero content creator that I follow a lot, and he has changed my perspective on the superhero industry as a whole. So a lot of my takes are gonna be very similar to his, but it is what it is. But I enjoyed the first trailer. I wanted to see where we were gonna go in these first 2 episodes, and as of right now, I am very pleased as to what we have got. Um, my expectations weren't, like, sky high like they were for X-Men '97, but they've delivered so far, and I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I like we were talking when I was watching the second episode. I couldn't really put a thumb on what the animation style reminded me of, but then it hit me, and this is like 720p animation style to what Archer is.
Yes.
A lot of similarities in the way the artwork looks. I'm excited for this show because it's in a different universe. I
Yes.
don't know which one, which by next week hopefully I'll do some digging and have time to do some digging to figure out where
I don't
this
think they've
alternate
given
timeline lies.
I don't think they've given a number for this Earth yet.
Yeah, so the premise of this show is Peter Parker's origin story and early days using the Spider-Man persona. It's set
Mhm.
in an alternate timeline within the multiverse where Norman Osborn becomes Peter's mentor instead of Tony Stark, which
Yeah.
happens in the main MCU continuity. So it is a different timeline, but also you have a lot of crossover of similar voices with characters we are familiar with. Most notably, Charlie Cox will be voicing Daredevil in this show, and Vincent D'Onofrio will be voicing Kingpin in this show.
I am so ready for those 2 to pop up. Again, Daredevil is one of the few shows I've given a 10 out of 10 to. So when they pop up, my ass is gonna be in the seat ready to watch.
Now, we do have other cameos confirmed for this show and recurring, like, main characters and recurring characters. So obviously, we have Peter Parker. We have May Parker, who is played by Kari Walgren. Hudson Thames is Peter Parker / Spider-Man. Nico Minoru is played by Grace Song.
Mhm.
Eugene Bird is Lonnie Lincoln. Zeno Robinson is Harry Osborn. The GOAT, Coleman Domingo, is Norman Osborn. And then in our recurring character list, Kathy Ong is Pearl Pangan, who is one of Peter's classmates, who we see throughout the show. Anjali Kuna Peneni is Jean Foucault, who is an Oscorp intern. Erica Luttrell plays Asha, or voices Asha, who hails from Wakanda, which is also very
Mhm.
fascinating. Paul F. Tompkins voices Bentley Whitman, and Zara Fossil voices Carla Connors, who is an Oscorp
So
scientist. She's
I think
also
that's a very cool take on the character.
she's an alternate gender swap variant of Kurt Connors, which is really fucking cool.
It reminds me a lot. I don't know if you saw it, that the animated Batman show that came out last year, they did a gender swap
Yeah,
version of Penguin, and I enjoyed that version of the character a lot too. So I'm excited to see what they do with Carla Connors.
100%. If you don't know who Kurt Connors is, that's the Lizard. And then guest appearances in this show, which we get one in episode 1, which I was stunned we got off the rip.
Yeah.
Robin Atkin Downs is Dr. Stephen Strange, which Harrison,
Woo!
we keep winning
We did.
in these superhero timelines, because while Robin Atkins Downs is born in London, he earned his MFA from the Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Dr. Stephen Strange in this show, Philly genes.
So we're talking a Philadelphian Doctor Strange. We're getting a Philadelphian Superman.
Yeah,
Can we-
Doctor Strange is over here gonna do some neurosurgery with some fucking Kamar-Taj wizardry on your asses, dickhead.
And yo, the fucking Superman out there. You see him stop that building from falling over?
Yeah, he
Almost fell
smacked
right
it
in
like
the
the
super.
fucking bird smacked the Commanders. What are you talking about there, bro?
What are you talking about? Come on,
Go Birds.
go Birds.
So yes, we get Robin Atkin Downs as Dr. Stephen Strange, Jake Green as Butane, who we
Which is a
also
fun
saw in these
little
premieres.
episode of it. Yeah,
Hugh Dancy as Otto Octavius.
I'm so excited to see their take on Doc Ock.
And if you don't know Hugh Dancy, he plays SFC Kirk Schmidt in Black Hawk Down.
Ooh,
He is also Jack Barber in Downton Abbey: A New Era.
okay.
He's also seen in, let's see, anything else that stands out here. Television wise, he's Nolan Price for you Law and Order fans in 45 episodes there. He is also 6 episodes. He starred in Homeland. He plays various roles on a couple episodes in Robot Chicken. He plays Will Graham in Hannibal. And let's see, anything else here. He's also been in a few theatrical productions as well. Nothing that looks like it's like too Broadway-ish. That was from like 99 to 2018, but big resume there for Hugh Dancy. Like we mentioned, Charlie Cox is Matt Murdock / Daredevil. Vincent D'Onofrio is Wilson Fisk / Kingpin. Jonathan Medina is Matt Gargan, aka Scorpion. And additionally, in an undisclosed role, Big E.
Yes, I'm so excited to see what Big E's doing because he's
What is
been
your
out of
prediction?
wrestling.
What's your prediction for Big E's voice acting?
Oh God, I don't even know. I mean, Lonnie Lincoln. I was gonna say Tombstone, but we already have Lonnie Lincoln. Um, who could Big E be? I'm gonna have to go deep into my bag here real quick.
Venom?
He could be Venom. He could be Venom. I would love to see him be Eddie Brock.
That would be fun. That would be
That would be
fun.
real because they have very similar
I was
builds.
also thinking Sandman.
He could be Sandman. I mean, he would have been a great choice as Scorpion too.
Mm-hmm. But yes,
But
all you WWE fans, Big E has
yeah,
been cast in an undisclosed role. Characters confirmed to be appearing in the series include Chameleon. This could also be a Big E. Rhino could also be Big E.
he could. Oh my God, Big E could crush a Rhino role.
Tarantula, Speed Demon, Carmella Black, Unicorn, which we'll
Yep.
get to later. Unicorn has a episode
Nausea.
title.
Yep.
Tony Stark / Iron Man, and White Rabbit.
So first of all, whoever Big E voices, it's going to be a new day for whatever villain that is. Aha. Aha. I had to. I'm sorry.
Could Big E be Tony Stark?
He absolutely could. Because I don't know how many listeners are still up to date on WWE, but he is the last good guy remaining out of the original New Day after they turned heel on him. So could he be the one to steer Peter back onto the right path if Norman tries to corrupt him? We'll see.
Very excited for what this show until next week. We will get the Unicorn. Episode 5 is titled The Unicorn Unleashed. So the Unicorn's getting a whole arc. What are your expectations, though, for a show like this, Harrison?
Again, I want something very comic booky. I want there to be an overarching plot, but very episodical at the same time. Like, give us hints as to what the overarching plot is during every single episode, but a new story every week. And that's the beauty of comics. everything serves to a greater purpose, while at the same time being very self-contained. I don't want
If
anything too like let it be bombastic. Let it be spectacular.
if
Let it
you
be
give
amazing.
me I see what you did there.
Yes.
If you give me a villain of the week type show, I'll be thrilled.
Yes. Because again, when Daredevil pops up, the villain of that episode is absolutely going to be Kingpin. Give me an episode around the Scorpion, and maybe J. Jonah Jameson. We get the full background of the Scorpion. J. Jonah Jameson hires Matt Gargan to become a supervillain. 6 him on Spider-Man. Have that be an episode. Then we can have an episode surrounding the Mazda crime family with the unicorn. Just something like that. And then give us sorry, still getting over something. But give us hints that Norman's gonna turn. Give us hints that he's gonna become the Green Goblin eventually. And then at the end of the season, when he does make that turn, it'll be predictable, but also out of nowhere. You know?
Yeah, and like genuinely, if you give me a villain of the week, it gives like the animation style and the way that the show is like storyboarded gives very Saturday morning cartoon, which I
Yes.
love. Like it's
Yeah.
nostalgic. It feels like I'm turning on like you're still of that era and will remember what I'm about to reference. It gives me the elite Saturday morning cartoon channel of Kids WB when you had Pokemon, you had
Yep.
Yu-Gi-Oh, you had
Yep.
Shaolin Showdown, you had
Oh my
Jackie Chan
God.
Adventures, you had the Kids WB Sako guy as like the
Yep.
host in between shows. You had all of those that you had what was it?
Beyblade?
Cubix, Beyblade,
Bakugan?
Cubix, the robot,
Yeah.
like 3D robot show.
Yep.
Bakugan came in the mix. What else was on Kids WB?
Power Rangers.
Let's see. Oh,
Was
Mucha Lucha.
Yep. Was Power Rangers part of that mix? I'm pretty sure it was.
Let's see.
Because I know Power Rangers was on Cubix.
So Kids WB in the entire run across the board. You had the Animaniacs. You had the
Yes.
Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries, which was elite. Pinky and the Brain, Freakazoid, Superman the Animated Series, Road Rovers, Bugs and Daffy,
Yep.
the Daffy Duck Show, the new Batman Adventures, the new Batman Superman Adventures, Pinky Elmira and the Brain, Batman
Mhm.
Beyond, the Big
Oh.
Cartoony Show, Static Shock,
Oh my God.
the Zeta Project, Mucha Lucha, What's New Scooby-Doo, Ozzy and Drix, Xiaolin Showdown, the Batman, Coconut Fred's Fruit Salad Island. That's the deepest cut you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Lunatics Unleashed, which was amazing.
Wasn't that
Johnny
the superhero
Test,
Looney Tunes?
yes. And they were all
Yeah.
like buff and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So good. Johnny Test was like
Oh
the
my
last like addition there. Tom and Jerry Tales, Shaggy
Yep.
and Scooby Doo get a clue, Legion of Superheroes. You also had Samurai Jack,
Oh my God.
the
An elite
Powerpuff
show.
Girls, Codename Kids Next Door, and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Teen Titans, Crypto the Superdog, Tiny Toon Adventures, Pokemon for like the longest run from the original series to Pokemon Advanced Battle, Yu-Gi-Oh from 2001 to 2006, Cubix Robots for Everyone, like we mentioned, just some Spider Riders.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
Just so many. So X-Men Evolution was on there
Oh,
for a few
one of the most
years.
elite X-Men shows apart from the OG X-Men run. And I'm not counting X-Men 97 in that because
Do you remember Mega Man, the animated shows?
yes.
Oh my God, brother!
I just want to go on a quick tangent here, real quick, because everybody remembers Batman the Animated Series for good reason. Kevin Conroy is the ultimate Batman, and I stand by that to this day. People don't talk about Superman the Animated Series nearly as much as they should. That holds up. And also, the Batman slaps. The Batman absolutely slaps. I went and rewatched it. phenomenal. The first season is just peak entertainment.
Mega Man was that shit. Sailor Moon was on Kids WB for a year. Rescue Heroes, Dragon Ball Z was on for a year. Do you remember Card Captors?
Yeah, dude. Rescue Heroes just brought back like some significant core memories for me though.
Oh,
Because they
Beautiful
were
Joe.
toys first, and then they became a show.
So
Like, oh
like
my god.
the Kids WB lineup was so goddamn elite. If you remember the Kids WB lineup, leave a comment in the comment section. But that's what this show gives off. It gives off like a Kids WB vibe
Yes.
of a Saturday morning cartoon, which I love. As a 31-year-old, it just brings you back to like core childhood memories, and it's very
Yes.
enjoyable. And with how big of Marvel sickos you and I are, it adds a new flair to just the enjoyment level. So this
Well,
first episode we're breaking down,
yeah.
it also is interesting to see like the directors and who's writing the episodes. So this first episode was directed by Mel Zwire,
Okay.
aka Melchior Zwire. Now,
Oh,
Mel Zwire is best known for the following projects: 2004's critically acclaimed, in my critical acclaiming opinion, Shark Tale.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
2006's Flushed Away.
A banger.
2008's critically acclaimed Kung Fu Panda. And
Gotta look
2010's critically acclaimed How to Train Your Dragon.
So banger after banger after banger after banger.
Has also worked on an episode of Star Wars Rebels. Has also worked on Lego DC Comics Superheroes Justice League Cosmic Clash.
Okay.
A lot of good like animation on Mel Zwire's docket.
Yeah.
And this episode was also written by Jeff Trammell.
I know I've heard that name, and I'm just blanking on where I've heard it before.
Ever heard of a little television show called Craig of the Creek?
That I have heard of.
He also worked on Harvey Beaks.
Okay, that one I have not.
That's like a new Nickelodeon
That explains why.
spin-off type of thing.
Yeah.
Also worked on some other just like good
He
like
didn't have-
newer aged animation.
He didn't have to work on Gravity Falls at all, has he?
Not that I see here. His first project was Harvey Beaks, and then Little Big Awesome, Amphibia, Archibald's Next Big Thing, The Owl House, Glitch Tex, Action Pack. Craig of the Creek is his big one where he worked on 126 episodes. Everything else has kind of been like 1 to 2 episodes here and there. And then yeah, so he's working on 2 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I think he did a really good job writing this episode. So your overall thoughts on the premiere episode, episode 1, before we dive into the breakdown, just like your overall thoughts on the approach for a premiere, for a pilot.
So I brought it up earlier, but changing the character in service of a good story is a good thing. I love that they started with Uncle Ben already being dead instead of rehashing the same tired story we've seen over and over again. And as much as Spider-Man's origin story is iconic, we've seen it too many goddamn times. Too many times. So starting it from a point where it's just Pete and May, and he doesn't have any powers to start off with, and getting a fresh start with Doctor Strange, as we'll talk about soon, him getting his powers on the first day of school, him meeting Nico Minoru, who's a major player in Marvel, if you don't know that by now. I know you know that, but I don't know about the listeners.
She's like an under-the-radar big player.
Yes. She, like, Sorcerer Supreme level mage.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't get as much love as she should.
And I think she doesn't get a lot of that love because if you're not familiar with Nico Minoru, her lone like television spot was in the Marvel Runaways, which didn't get
it was meh.
the attention that it deserved and like the attention that it should have gotten in the building of that show. So it was a character that kind of just like faded away a little bit.
Yeah, slid under the radar.
But I'm glad that like we're getting a good take on Nico in this show because great character.
And I'm interested to see where we go with Lonnie Lincoln because Tombstone is one of the coolest Spider-Man villains out there. Because you can understand where he's coming from, and he's just ruthless as all hell. And now we're seeing a teenage version of him who hasn't turned to crime yet. He's the star quarterback, I believe, of the football team. And instead of like Flash Thompson, the stereotypical star quarterback, popular guy, he's actually really nice to Pete. So it's a very interesting take on the character. And I love the changes that they've made. It's something fresh. Like I'm rehashing what I said about Skeleton Crew. Something fresh, something new. I'll have to see where they go with it, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it so far.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Episode 1 titled Amazing Fantasy, like we mentioned, directed by Mel's Wire, written by Jeff Trammell. So on his first day at Midtown High, freshman Peter Parker witnesses Stephen Strange. Off the rip, Doctor Strange in the first episode battle a symbiotic alien. Again, off the rip, just holy shit type, like, what are we doing? Episode 1 with this? I was blown away that was like the big culmination for this episode. Is like you had Doctor Strange coming through a portal, no less, battling an alien, and then the spider is from that portal, which gave it very Spider-Verse vibes.
So when I saw the trailer and that little sneak preview of Peter getting bit by the spider, and they showed the school up in flames, I was expecting, like an Iron Man or like something of that sort to have attacked the school. Not Doctor Strange and a symbiote, though. That came out of left field, and I was there for it. I was loving every second of it. And I want to know what the hell that alien was.
Definitely symbiote. Gave off. I want to, because it looks like
it seems like something from Planet Hulk.
I want to pull it up because I am 99% sure that particular symbiotic alien has a Funko Pop
already, or
that is like a like. So if you're watching on YouTube, I have a bunch of Venomized Funko Pops of various Marvel characters behind me. Venom is my favorite Marvel character. And they have a whole line okay, so it looks like, I'm not saying that it was, but tell me that symbiotic alien, Harrison, did not look like the Venomized Groot Funko Pop.
Oh my god, it did.
Very similar features. Not saying direct exact
I don't think
features,
it was Groot,
but looked like very similar to the Venomized Groot Funko Pop.
And I'm wondering what Doctor Strange was battling to go through different universes, landing there, because I'm sure that was one part of a large-scale army.
Because Doctor Strange also says, like, it pops and shows you different things in Doctor Strange. Oh, we're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Where the fuck you supposed to be, Steven?
Where the fuck is this guy?
What Stephen Strange are you? Which variant are you? Are you an animated version of our 616 Doctor Strange? Are you potentially the what if Stephen Strange? Like, there's a lot that can come into play because that Doctor Strange openly said he was not supposed to be there, was coming through a green portal, which is not your typical portal we see in the 616 MCU. Which Stephen Strange was this? That is a question that needs to be brought to the attention of the people.
Let me put my Galaxy Brain cap on real quick, right? He was wearing the yellow gloves. he had the traditional mustache, and he had like a very 60s looking haircut, right? What if this is the Doctor Strange from the Fantastic Four universe that we're about to get?
Mm.
And what if he was going on adventures with the Fantastic Four? Because while the Fantastic Four are superheroes, they're scientific adventurers first. Now, what if they went to Null's planet and started battling a bunch of symbiotic creatures?
I like the way you're cooking here. I was also thinking, because in the end of Multiverse of Madness, he goes through that portal with Clea. Not saying
Yes.
it's 616 Strange, but I'm
You never
also
know.
thinking of what we saw later on Picture Frame with Norman Osborn, who we'll
Yep.
get to. That reminded me a lot of the version of, and I'll say it here, Captain America was in that photo of the Captain America we saw in X-Men 97.
Yes. Oh. Ooh.
Is that Doctor Strange from the X-Men 97 universe?
I could see that too. Or this
Because
might
a lot
be
of the X-Men 97 is comic book accurate looking
yeah.
characters. That was a very comic accurate Doctor Strange.
And one thing that's peeved me about the Doctor Strange we've gotten in live action, we've only seen one appearance of him with the iconic yellow gloves. I love that he got the yellow gloves here. Like that is a significant part of his look, and that cannot be overstated how important that is to the character.
So Doctor Strange is battling that symbiotic alien, causing destruction to the school in the process. Peter assists Strange with capturing the alien, but is later bitten by a spider that emerged from a portal that Strange created during the fight, which is very Spider-Verse-esque, especially the more recent Spider-Verse movie. And then we fast forward several months later, where Peter has developed spider-like abilities and is secretly operating as the vigilante known as Spider-Man. Due
Spider
to
guy or Spider dude, depending on who you
the
ask.
Spider-Man,
The Spider-Man.
due to the destruction of Midtown High, he now attends Rockford T. Bales High School, where he befriends several students, including his best friend, the aforementioned Nico Minoru, childhood crush Pearl Penguin, and the football team captain, Lonnie Lincoln. While on the way to school, Peter saves Harry Osborn from a group of thugs, and later he manages to stop two criminals on the run from the police and receives public attention. And after school, Peter returns to his apartment and encounters businessman Norman Osborn.
Not brought up here, but the part of the episode that I enjoyed the most was when he caught the pocket thief that stole from the pizza place. And instead of taking her right to the cops, he brought her right back to the owner of the pizza place and said, "Look, this is a woman down on her luck. She just lost her job. As you can see, she is very remorseful. It's up to you, but if it were me, I'd let her go and hope that I never have to run into her again."
Right.
And in my view, that's goddamn Spider-Man right there. He is not he is one to punish the truly evil, but he is one to help the people of New York first and foremost. And that scene right there showed me that they understood the character.
Yeah.
You can change tiny bits about his background, you can change how he looks, what's going on with him. But at the core, Spider-Man is someone who helps people. And I love that they nailed that there. Absolutely love it.
This episode rocked. It was a great pilot episode, a great introduction to this universe. I'm excited to see what universe it is. And to me, it's already leaps and bounds better than the Sony universe because the Spider-Man exists, first and foremost. But secondly, like, this is what Peter Parker is. He's a freshman in high school. Like, this is like, yes, like, this is good Peter Parker, good Spider-Man. And I think, like, you know, when this show initially got announced, pardon me, It was supposed to be like Spider-Man freshman year, and then it was going to be Spider-Man sophomore year, and like they were going to do multiple seasons that way. I hope they continue to do multiple seasons like this.
Yes.
And just under the banner of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, just say like season 2 or whatever. Like, this is a show that could have continuity, like, for a very long time if they choose to do so. And I think so far through 2 episodes, which we'll get to the second one in a minute, they've done a good job of world building in a short amount of time.
Absolutely. And was I a little bit disappointed when I found out it wasn't going to be the origin story to the MCU Spider-Man? A little bit. But I like that they're doing a separate universe and doing their own fresh take on the character. Because it would have been cool to see Tom Holland's origin, but I think it's cooler to do another version of the character that we can see grow instead of knowing where the character is going to wind up, because we've seen his journey through high school already. We can see a different version of Peter go through high school this time. And I'm very interested to see where they go with this, especially in season 2 and 3.
And being that it's a different universe, you can introduce whatever characters you want.
Exactly. It's not canon to the MCU in a sense, because, everything in the multiverse is canon.
Right.
But you can let this ride.
It's not 616 like canon continuity, but it's canon that it is existing in the Marvel multiverse, which I know scrambles people's brains a lot, but it's not your main MCU timeline. It is a branch off. Think Loki. It's a branch off that's existing at the same time as MCU 616. Just more shit's happening over here than in the main timeline continuity.
Also, my biggest gripe with the MCU, I hate that they're calling it Universe 616. Universe 616 is the comic universe. Let's not get that twisted. 616 is Prime Comics.
You sound like Iman Vellani so much. The actor that plays Miss Marvel says she has gotten in verbal altercations with Kevin Feige about this.
Yes, because it's stupid. Like, again, change as much about the story as you want. I don't care. Like, do not take 616's name in vain. I swear to God.
I will say I'll play devil's advocate here. I do like Kevin Feige is overseeing a lot of what's going on in the comics now moving forward.
Absolutely.
And I like that ties into 616, where like now I think you're going to see a lot more continuity crossover from the comic books as true source material being used in future MCU projects.
And until that happens, I am not fine with it being 616 in the movies, but once that crossover starts to happen more, I'll get more okay with it. Especially if it means Peter and MJ can get back together in the comics, because I'm still pissed about that.
So episode 2 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, titled The Parker Luck. It was directed by Liza Singer, who, for the people out there that want to know who Liza Singer is, I'll pull up her IMDb here. Liza Singer, Harrison, known for the following projects: a little series in 2022, 1 episode in the art department for a show called Pantheon. She was in
is that the Zack Snyder Norse show?
I don't know.
Because
it's created by Craig Silverstein. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. I think that might be it. Or no, maybe not. No, I was thinking of a different show. Never mind. My bad.
Liza Singer is also known for 6 episodes from 2019 to 2020 in the art department for a little show called Harley Quinn.
Oh, a tiny little show called Harley Quinn, yeah.
And another tiny little show from 2018 to 2021, 8 episodes in the art department for Disenchantment.
Oh, okay.
And then this is her lone episode of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It was written by Charlie Nooner. And we will also give you a backstory on Charlie Nooner here. Charlie Nooner, known for the following projects: a little show, one episode as a writer in 2020 of a show called The Loud House, which I believe
Ooh.
is Nickelodeon. Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
kind of a new age Nickelodeon show. He did one episode as a writer there, and then this is his next thing. So relatively new to the space, but getting his big break here in the
He did a great
Marvel
job.
animation.
Did a
Great
great job.
episode. So the Parker Luck. Norman Osborn offers Peter an exclusive internship at his company, Oscorp, which he accepts. The next day, Peter goes to Oscorp after school and is assigned to work with scientist Carla Connors.
Mhm.
During a break period, Peter sees a news report about a building on fire and goes to investigate as Spider-Man. There, he encounters the arsonist Butane, who attacks him using high-tech weaponry. Peter defeats him, but notices a familiar logo on his equipment. Later, Peter returns to Oscorp, where he is summoned to Norman's office. Norman then shows Peter security footage of the latter putting on his Spider-Man suit. We also get in this episode a picture of Norman Osborn and Captain America. Harrison, my question to you here. What is the connection with Norman and old Captain America in this universe? Because that was a stoic looking photo. What is the connection? Why is there a connection? And what the hell is Cap doing with a dirty, rotten scoundrel businessman known as Norman Osborn?
So my immediate go-to thought was that Norman was making a deal with the US military, and Cap just so happened to be at like either the Pentagon or something of that nature at that day, and they took a picture together. Or considering that, Norman is a big manufacturer of arms, much like Howard Stark was, maybe they worked together in some way, shape, or form after he came out of the ice to combat some threat towards United States security. I don't know if it's going to be that deep. It might have just been they met at some kind of function and took a picture together. But I think I'm leaning towards it's not that deep.
I hope
That's
not.
it.
I hope not. I hope not, because I don't want to see a corrupt Cap. But I also was like, if this Cap's origin is similar to every Cap we've seen in MCU continuity, Norman's got a scientist from Wakanda.
I mean,
Where
considering
did Cap get his shield?
Yep. we've got a Wakandan intern. I'm sure he has a Wakandan on full-time staff.
Yeah. I like the take on Carla Connors. Very good.
Yep.
Alternate
It's
universe
fresh.
gender swap. Very fun.
People are going to be pissed about it, but who cares?
Give me a lady lizard.
Yeah, it's something we haven't seen before. And isn't comic books and comic book shows supposed to be about doing things that we've never seen before?
Yep.
Grow up, nerds.
I don't. It's weird because obviously it's a different universe, and like Norman Osborn's supposed to be Peter's like mentor rather than Tony Stark in this universe. I still can't get out of my brain that like Norman Osborn, bad guy.
I mean, that's
part of my brain is like telling me this universe, Norman Osborn, not necessarily bad guy.
See, this could be like the Spider-Man game where he has the right intentions, but he just goes about everything the wrong way, and that's going to lead to a major fall. In the most recent run of Spider-Man comics, he's been expunged of his sins. The Goblin is out of his system, and he's actually an ally to Peter. So maybe they're working on something like that, which would be very interesting. But I do think we're going to see the Goblin in the final episode of the season.
So talk to me about Butane. What was your take on Butane? And
that's one of the few Spider-Man villains I do not know that much about. So I enjoyed it. I liked that he was a dumb arsonist who got paid by a landlord company to burn down a building, and he burned down the wrong one.
Mm-hmm.
That is quintessential New York idiocy.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it. It was fun. It was a little dumb, but dumb in a good way because the character was stupid.
Very fun first 2 episodes. I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm excited that we get 3 episodes next week.
Excited for
Which
the unicorn episode, man. I'm
I
really
have
looking
I have the titles of every episode. They released them. I have them in front of us here. So next week's 3 episodes. Secret Identity Crisis is episode 3. Hitting the Big Time is episode 4.
Mhm.
And episode 5 is the Unicorn Unleashed, like we mentioned previously. Then on February 12th, we get 3 episodes. Episode 6, come on
It's gonna be a
home. Come on home, Charlie Cox. Come on home, Daddy. Duel with the Devil. Episode 7, Scorpion Rising.
Mhm.
Episode 8, Tangled Web.
Ooh, okay.
And then February 19th, our final 2 episodes, Hero or Menace. And then the finale, If This Be My Destiny, ...
I love that the first and the last episodes have direct ties to the Spider-Man comics. Because Spider-Man debuted an amazing fantasy, and If This Be My Destiny is one of the most iconic Spider-Man quotes out there. So I'm interested to see where these next 3 episodes go. We know Unicorn is going to be in episode 5. Obviously, Daredevil in episode 6.
Hitting the Big Time, episode 4 feels like Kingpin.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Big Time, you can't get much bigger than Kingpin. I feel like Secret Identity, I mean, it's going to be dealing with the ramifications of Norman finding out he's Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very interested to see what the villain of the week is that week gonna be. It might be Rhino,
Maybe.
but I have no
Scorpion
idea.
Rising is obviously Scorpion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tangled Web.
Possibly Lizard. Or maybe they're saving Lizard for Hero or Menace. Because that's gonna be someone he knows and clearly cares about. And obviously Jonah's gonna be in that episode. And I hope with all of my heart that it's God, why am I blanking on his name? Oh God, why am I blanking on his name? He plays Jonah in live action too. Oh damn. He's an Omni-Man. J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. I don't know why the hell I was blanking on his name for that
Because
long.
it's 2:12 in the morning and we're on sicko mode hours.
We're on sicko mode hours. I worked a 7-hour shift and I'm on 5 hours of sleep right now, so we're rolling.
Also, I think Hero or Menace or If This Be My Destiny is Tony Stark episode, one of those 2.
I feel like Tony's going to pop up at the end after Norman turns out to be the Green Goblin and Spider-Man needs someone new to look to. Because, again, this is a 14-year-old kid. If he's a freshman in high school, he's 14 years old. That's a lot younger than the 16-year-old we got in Civil War, and then from there on.
He's listed as 15, but
Okay,
still young.
15. That's
young.
A baby. That is a baby. Like, he's going to need a mentor, or at least someone to help him along the way. Not strictly a mentor role, but someone keeping an eye on him. Maybe it's not as in-depth as it was in the MCU with him making all the tech for him, because I would like to see at the end of the series, or the season, him making the classic suit instead of, like what we got at the end of No Way Home. And I'm excited to see the Oscorp suit he gets, because we saw that in the trailer. So I'm assuming that comes next episode or in episode 4.
Okay, hear me out. One thing here with Nico being in the mix here.
Yes.
This is just me projecting. So anyone who knows me knows I live for these team up situations in the MCU. I've been projecting the Thunderbolts for years, and I cannot wait for this summer for that we finally come to fruition. That being said, Harrison, do you know one of the team up events that involves not only a few Spider-Man type characters, but also Nico Minoru?
Would that be the Midnight Suns?
That would be the Midnight Suns, my good sir.
Yes.
Let's bring the Midnight Suns into Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Please, because we've been teasing Blade for so long.
Because you know who else
is an
is
honorary member.
You know who else is a member of the Midnight Suns, Harrison?
Are we talking Wolverine here? Or we,
well, that would also be one.
Dr. Stephen Strange?
That would be one Dr. Stephen Strange.
Yeah.
That would also be one.
Stuff. That's just fun in the MCU. It's needed in the MCU, I should say.
Doctor Strange, Nico Minoru is a current member.
And again, all powerful.
The Spider variant is the Scarlet Spider.
Ooh, could we be getting Ben Reilly? A little Clone Saga action?
Because also in the Midnight Suns right now, the leaders, Blade, Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, Morbius. Your members, Blade, Kushala the Spirit Rider, Magic, Nico Minoru, Wolverine. And then previous members, Johnny Blaze, Elsa Bloodstone, Caretaker, Darkhold Redeemer, Sam Buchanan, Louise Hastings, Jinx, Madrid the Mystic, Vicky Montesi, Doctor Strange, Dr. Voodoo, Frank Drake, Damon Hellstrom, The Hood, briefly, Iron Fist, Jennifer Kale, Danny Ketch, Hannibal King, Man-Thing, Moon Knight as Mr. Knight, Morbius, Scarlet Spider, briefly the Scarlet Witch, Strange, not Doctor Strange, just Strange, Vengeance, Werewolf by Night, and Wong.
Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, we could absolutely see them coming up here, which would be fantastic.
Like, give me the Midnight Suns. Also, Nico Minoru affiliated with the Strange Academy.
Yes. And that's a whole bunch
Dr.
of different
Strange and Dr. Voodoo.
Yep. So a whole bunch of things could go on here.
Which is also created by one of my favorite comic book artists of all time, who I would love to get on this show, the Scotty Young.
Yep.
Scotty Young's artwork is my favorite.
Oh, he does great work.
Like, if I could ever afford to, I would commission Scotty Young to do artwork of me, you, and Christian for this podcast. Like, of us.
Yes.
Scotty, can we make that happen? Name your price. Let me know. I would absolutely love that, because that would be absolute gas for the podcast cover art of me, you, and Christian in Scotty Young artwork.
Yes. I'd make that my profile picture on everything.
Oh, it'd be amazing. But yes, I'm excited for Nico Minoru. Opens up so much in terms of like playability with this show, which is very fun as well.
Good chemistry too, which is just awesome.
Yes. I'm excited for what the future of this show holds. I'm hoping it just continues to build on what we've gotten here. And then after these 10 episodes, just keep it going. Don't set yourself in like a limits range.
Well,
like,
they've already announced season 3, so
go and go and go and go. Like, give me 10 seasons of this show. I don't care.
Why not?
I need it. I'm a huge fan so far. I think it's only going to continue to get better. If you're watching Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, leave a comment in the comment section and let us know your thoughts so far, and give us your theories, your potential, pop-up of characters in each episode. We'd love to hear it. Leave us a comment in the YouTube comment section, the Spotify comment section as well. And we will be back next week breaking down the next 3 episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And without any further ado, I'm going to hop back with Christian. We're going to break down some news and notes from around the streaming platform Multiverse, and we'll catch you on the flip side. And now let's get to everybody's favorite segment. It is the Streaming Platform Multiverse news and notes brought to you by our pals over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, and just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, Pittsburgh, and Maryland areas. You can also get it at your local liquor stores in those markets. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny Finder. Celebrate the big game responsibly. Must be 21 or older to do so. And of course, please drink responsibly. First thing I have here, Harrison, releasing in the spring on Netflix.
Who?
Harrison. Sorry. I just came back from recording with Harrison.
Kyle.
It'd be like that. We had a 6-hour podcast happen this week. I'm still not recovered. Christian, starring Tom Hardy, releasing in the spring on Netflix, is Havoc.
We finally have a date for this bullshit.
It's a fast-paced action thriller where he plays
Kyle.
cop.
Kyle, I had this on 2 of my last 3 end-of-year lists.
Directed by Gareth Evans. And the
Director of the Raid movies.
Runtime is 1 hour and 45.
If this is, and I'm being nice when saying this, if this can be like, doing the math quickly, if this can be like 50% of a Raid film, I will be happy.
This is interesting. The estate of Superman creator Joseph Schuster is suing Warner Brothers in DC. They claim the studio lacks the rights to release the upcoming film in key territories such as Canada, the UK, and Australia.
So, I talked with a friend of mine who's more, let's just say, how do I phrase this? Is more understands what's going on here more. Basically, they already lost this case for the U.S., so now they're trying to battle that and say, we didn't sign away our copyright for everywhere. We just signed it away for the U.S., and it's not we signing it away; it was our father, type deal. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It wouldn't surprise me if other copyright stuff ended up holding up, given how somehow U.S. copyright is both extremely stringent and also can be messed with some.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. We have a new casting in House of Dragon Season 3. James Norton has been cast as Ormond Hightower.
Norton Antivirus?
He is the cousin of Alicent Hightower and the Lord of Old Town.
In other casting news, it's more of a rumor. Anna Sawai from the Godzilla TV show and Shogun is rumored to be Yoko Ono in the series of Beatles movies coming from Sam Mendes.
I'm intrigued to hear how you feel about this next thing I'm going to lay on to you. Streaming services have shown increased interest in working with influencers following Beast Game's performance. The show had 50 million viewers in its first 25 days, and the production budget was over $100 million. Disney is interested in casting creators in unscripted shows built around its IP, and Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos says he finds short-form platforms, quote, a great breeding ground for new storytellers.
I mean, if it's unscripted, I don't care as much because I don't watch unscripted stuff. But if you're doing what Netflix did, and I forget who they signed a deal with. Netflix signs influencer. Who was it? they ended up signing a influencer to like a multi-movie
Oh,
deal.
Addison Rae.
Yes, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was in 2021.
Well, no, maybe this was something that just made it back into my cycle recently because of the death of David Lynch that I believe we talked about prior. But everyone's like, we really gave her a deal and all that.
They also cut a deal with Miss Rachel for the kids show stuff.
It wasn't that because people wouldn't be talking about Miss Rachel. No offense to Miss Rachel, but you know.
But yeah, that's an interesting thing. But my take on that is not everyone's also Mr. Beast, who has just disposable income to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, my stance is keep influencers out of my scripted television. Do whatever you want with the unscripted stuff. Do you want to talk about the ever expanding Odyssey cast?
I was gonna say, Christian, it's time for our weekly Odyssey update.
Now added, because I don't remember if we've talked about some of this. Did we talk about the Punisher joining?
Yes.
Okay, so Elliot Page, Benny Safdie, Himesh Patel, and John Leguizamo.
And also Bill Irwin.
And Samantha Morton.
And for people who may not know Bill Irwin, he voiced Tars in Interstellar.
Gotta love it.
And that's our weekly Odyssey update.
Here's the fun question, though. All right. If we look at this slate, is Bernthal playing Poseidon? Is he playing a suitor of Penelope? Is he playing a crew member? Is Benny Safdie playing Poseidon? Or are we just like, yeah, Robert Pattinson's playing Poseidon and we're moving on with things?
I don't know why I'm still stuck on Pattinson playing Achilles, but I'm fascinated by this movie and the cast that it's going to be.
Yeah, like I think we have Damon and Holland figured out, and we can relatively guess, I would say, by the order in which the names were leaked out, that Anne Hathaway plays Penelope.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I got no fucking clue. It's like Charlize could play one of the gods?
Yeah.
And so it's been a while since I've read my Greek myths. Does Temecula have a love interest? Because the question I'm sitting on is, what are we doing with Zendaya and Lupita? Because one of them is playing Calypso, and I don't know which one it is for the life of me, because I can't tell you enough.
So Temecula marries Circe, aka Calypso, after Odysseus dies.
Aren't those two separate characters? Circe and Calypso?
It just says Circe or Calypso on the Britannica website.
Anyway, all I'm trying to say here is, I would guess Zendaya's playing whoever Tom's love interest would be, and Lupita plays Calypso. And part of the reason I'm saying that, I guess, it's just because we all remember Naomi Harris playing Calypso, so it's like, it kind of fits.
Yeah,
but
that's true. We love the Odyssey. Did you see Good Morning America fucked up and said that the first trailer was going to show on their show, and then ABC removed it from the press release after it went viral.
Whoops.
Oopsies. Looking right along here, a nice little real life pun from the boys. Vought from the boys announces historically low egg prices for $20 a dozen. Quote, no woke yolks guaranteed.
See, the thing is, the boys was supposed to be a parody, but I feel like we're reaching a state where the boys wasn't enough of a parody. But it is what it is.
I'm low key kind of excited about this. I never really read the books, but this is kind of something I've been waiting for since I never read the books. This comes from Paolini, Christopher Paolini, who is the author of these books. The creator of Aragon confirms the live-action Disney Plus series is still happening. Says he can't say anything more until a major contract gets signed. Hollywood negotiations take, air quote, forever. I would like to see this. It's a concept that makes a lot of sense. We've seen dragons happen in live action, especially with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. I think it would be a pretty cool series.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just quickly, because I stumbled across this. I'm like, I need this not to happen instantly. I need it not to happen. Corley Farjat. Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. I'm fine. I saw Oscar-nominated director's name, and then the word Black Widow. I'm like, no. Corley Farjat was in talks to direct Black Widow, but decided to focus on writing The Substance. Good, because The Substance is now nominated for 5 Oscars, and I don't need to have a panic attack being like, no.
Wholesome content alert. Earlier this week, we had Dogs Meet Dog Man.
Woof.
Did you see Nintendo lost a lawsuit against a Costa Rican grocery store named Super Mario?
Just great. You love to see it, don't you, Kyle?
The store is operated for over 50 years, and Nintendo's trademark doesn't cover supplies of basic food products. We knew these big companies have vast resources to fight, and we refuted all of Nintendo's arguments.
You love to see the major companies lose, don't you, Kyle?
Very, very funny. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm kind of intrigued because nostalgia works in this instance for me. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius sequel is reportedly in development at Paramount. Shout out to Paramount Plus. Subscribe to Paramount Plus. Link in the description.
Yes.
Sign up for Paramount Plus. I'm okay with this if it's on streaming. Like, the original Jimmy Neutron movie came out in theaters, but that was like 2004, I want to say. Great movie for its time. I won a newspaper coloring contest to go see the movie before everyone else. I'm cool with this because I think Jimmy Neutron, the show, never really got the true appreciation that it deserved. And it's very fun. And this is something I would sit down and watch. And it got confirmed because writer Adam Pava has added the project to his LinkedIn page.
Nice. Quickly going into film nerdville for a minor second. Luca Guadagnino is in talks to direct Stanley Kubrick's unrealized passion project, Aryan Papers, for Warner Brothers. Sure, why not?
Shout out to your boys. Dune 2 won Best Score at the Grammys.
Even though it's not Oscar eligible, which is bullshit, but anyway. Did you see the recent issues with the Michael Jackson musical / biopic?
Maybe.
That the film has gone over budget, has required reshoots due to forgotten legal conflicts regarding the third act, and lawsuits that had previously been settled, among other things. And a 4-hour cut was screened recently of the movie that's supposed to come out on Thanksgiving.
You know what I say to that, Christian? Yee yikes. Yeah, that's not great, Bob. Not great. Pixar was founded 39 years ago this week.
That doesn't feel like a real stat.
Rank your top. This comes from Culture Crate. Rank your top 4 Pixar movies.
Ratatouille, Wall-E, and I forget what's the rest of the Pixar canon.
Toy Story, The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Cars, A Bug's Life, Up, Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. and I don't know what other one I throw in there.
I think I go Toy Story. I believe Wreck-It Ralph is Pixar. Yes, Wreck-It Ralph is Pixar. Wreck-It Ralph is in my top 4. Monsters Inc. and Up.
Nice. Not a bad. Oh yeah, Up. Yeah, let me throw Up in there as the 4th one.
Yeah, Up rocks. Very funny quote in Captain America: Brave New World. Sam Wilson says, "I should have taken that serum as soon as he sees Red Hulk out." Anthony Mackie's just been on a quote heater. We got a new look at The Last of Us season 2 from Entertainment Weekly.
Ooh, that's something we could get a trailer
That's
for.
very true. That would be fun. I would like that very much.
We would all like that.
Yes. Nate Moore tells comicbook.com that there are no plans to recast T'Challa in the MCU. Everything you read online is not true.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Big facts. Christian, do you know the big signing of the week?
The Philadelphia Union signed whatever that Serbian midfielder's name was.
Well, it's not as big as this one because Hollywood talent agency CAA has re-signed former President Biden.
To which I responded, why?
He was also previously signed with them from 2017 to 2020.
Which makes it less dumb, but still, why?
Right. Harrison Ford, who is just a quote machine. We love Harrison Ford. He was asked, who would win in a fight between Red Hulk and Hulk? Quote,
who?
It falls into the who shot first category, so the answer is Greedo.
He loves committing to a bit. What can we say?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Mickey 17, director Bong Joon-ho names the 3 roles that made him see Robert Pattinson, quote, on another level as an actor. The Batman,
Good Time,
Good Time, and The Lighthouse.
Which, yep. That'll do.
I have a fun one for you, Christian. Can you name the highest grossing films of Keanu Reeves' career?
Oh, fuck.
It's a top 10. It's from our pals at Culture Crave as well.
Well, based on this, I'm going to guess the most recent Sonic movie's in there.
Sonic 3 is number 4 at $462 million.
Okay. How much did you say?
The top money-wise, $462 million.
I feel like all the John Wick films are just outside of that.
John Wick Chapter 4 is number 5 at $440 million. John Wick 3 is at $328 million.
I specifically remember looking at stuff like that because I was like, I feel like the John Wick movies earned more, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to ask just to check. The first Matrix?
Correct. That is number 3 at $467 million.
I don't know if I thought that would have been lower or higher. Okay, let's keep playing this game out. What else? So if we eliminate the John Wicks, I just have to pull up a list of Keanu films. Remove the John Wicks. Remove Knock Knock. Not Point Break, right?
No.
Not Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No.
Not Bill and Ted.
No.
This is rough. Huh.
You were on to something with your last guess.
On something with Bill and Ted?
No, you're correct. Last guess. Being
Matrix 2?
Matrix Reloaded, number 2 at $752 million.
I'm gonna hope that Matrix 3 is not the next highest one.
Would that be Matrix Revolutions?
Resurrections.
So no.
Revolutions?
Revolutions is number 6 at $427 million.
What the fuck is number 1 on Keanu?
You've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8.
It's. Please don't tell me it's Speed.
Speed is number 7 at $350 million.
What the fuck was number 1? It's not Johnny Mnemonic. It's not Dangerous Liaisons. Not the what? It's definitely not The Replacements.
No.
Constantine?
Nope.
It's not Neon Demon. It's not Knock Knock. It better not be DC League of Super Pets.
No.
Can I? What the fuck is actually it?
You were kind of warm with your last guess.
With DC League of Super Pets? Toy Story 4?
Yep, that's number 1 at $1.07 billion.
So full disclosure, I haven't watched Toy Story past like halfway through the second one. So I totally forgot that he's the action figure dude in that.
That's his number 1 highest grossing movie. And then you still have 9 and 10.
Oh, fuck. Jeez. Pulling back up his list. It's not the Devil's Advocate?
Nope.
47 Ronin?
Incorrect.
I'm mentally running out of things I can pick. Something's Gotta Give?
That is number 9 at $265 million.
And the Day the Earth Stood Still?
And that is number 10 at $233 million.
Ooh, we did it.
I just found it funny that Toy Story 4 is Keanu Reeves' highest grossing film of all time. We got the first trailer for Hurry Up Tomorrow. Stars The Weeknd, Jenna Ortega, and Barry Keoghan. Releases in theaters May 16th.
Look at me. I am so excited.
We got our first trailer for the Fantastic Four, as we mentioned. Christian, your thoughts on how it looks?
Underwhelming.
Really?
And also it's begging for people to make the bear jokes by having having the Thing cooking food. It's begging for the jokes. Like, it's not even funny. It's like, oh, he's cooking. You're really gonna make this that easy for us? And people have already made edits where they're putting dialogue from the bear over it.
Yeah.
And just looping him cooking. It's like, well, yeah.
I do think the suits look good on everybody.
For sure.
People are clowning the way the Thing looks.
I mean, they did a practical effect, so I'm not going to give them shit for that.
Right. I mean, the Galactus drop was interesting for the first trailer. I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, it was publicized enough to where they don't get much out of hiding it. So,
but yeah, that was a fun, nice little surprise. Like we said, new look at Jurassic World Rebirth, and the trailer dropped already. Also, speaking of the Fantastic Four as well, we've reached a point in society where, like, people just think any minor detail that doesn't look normal, quote unquote, is AI.
Yeah.
Just stop it. Get some help.
We've gone through the looking glass, as some people would say.
Yes. Moving right along. Christian, are you ready for July 2025 where we get Jurassic Super 4? Also, this picture of Pedro Pascal in his NASA suit is fucking hilarious.
Daddy Pedro.
There's a picture of Mark Hamill and Colin Farrell that dropped. And caption is the Joker meets the Penguin.
Good job, boys.
Well done. Well played. I think I have a couple more here. I know you'll like this. Back to the Future writer Bob Gale says they'll never make a fourth film. People always
Good.
say, when are you guys going to do a Back to the Future 4? And we say,
Never.
fuck you. And you can quote me on this.
Love them. Good men. Good men.
Disney Plus lost 700,000 subscribers during the final 3 months of 2024.
This is what happens when you don't put out enough good content. Like I was having this discussion with a friend. Is Disney Plus actually one of the worst streaming services?
It's definitely lower than a lot.
Because here's the thing. And here's how we thought about it. They don't put out that much new stuff. A. B. And most of the stuff they tend to put out is generally not well received.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, and now sure they're merging all the Hulu stuff onto it, which is generally better received. But I'd rather just pay for Hulu than pay for Disney Plus.
Yeah. And
this also gets to a point I talk about where if Prime had a better UI, we would be talking about it as the best streaming service. That's my take. Because, and I'm talking solely in terms of movies when I say this. They have the best catalog of things. Yeah. Like I just randomly went on a couple over the last week, and it's like, oh, there's like 6 or 7 movies showing up that I like would love to get to because they're things I've been wanting to watch, but and the problem is with Prime is they have lots of great stuff. It's just the UI is shit. It's horrible to search stuff, and the buckets aren't easy to go in and find things in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just sitting there like scrolling for umpteen hours, and you just randomly stumble into something. It's like, why am I finding this after 15 minutes of scrolling?
Yeah. I find this interesting. I don't know how your take will be on it if you have one. AMC is raising the price of A-list memberships. Members can now watch up to 4 movies per week.
But it's only by like $2 or $3.
Yeah, it's now $26 per month unless you live in New York or California.
In which it's like a $4 raise.
What was the original movies per week limit?
So what's the number they listed?
You can now watch up to 4 movies per week.
Price
$26 per month.
Okay, so it was previously 3 movies. And so basically what this means is on an average month you can see 12 to 16 movies for free. Which, guys, realize this, if you do the math, it pays for itself after like 2 or 3 times going to a movie theater. And also, if you really want to think about it, it's about the same price as Netflix.
Yeah.
So basically, you can either watch a bunch of slop on Netflix, or you can go to a theater for free if you're not someone who likes to get concessions and just see a bunch of movies. And to be honest, them moving it up to 4 is like really only for us psycho movie people.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's also what AMC A-list is meant for. It's for the
Right.
people who constantly go to the movies. And if I'm being honest, when I had it when I wasn't working at the working at the theater, it almost never came into play. Now there was like 1 or 2 times where I'm like, oh crap. But for the most part, like it's for those really weird weekends where it's like, oh, like I didn't get a chance to come last weekend, and now it's like, there's like 4 movies I want to see, but I can only see 3, and so yeah, it's a change which I think is small, but I think it's good. And I'm not saying that as someone who's bankrolled by AMC. I generally think that's a good move.
How do you feel about the Love Hurts Rotten Tomatoes scores?
The problem with that movie is I knew from the first trailer it was going to be bad. But Kyle, can we please talk about how Ariana DeBose is having one of the worst post-Oscar winning careers ever, probably? just in terms of movie choices, where she goes from being in the cast of Hamilton and doing Broadway stuff to then being in West Side Story to then going on a movie run of The Prom on Netflix. Well, sorry, Pardon. That was a pre that. She did ISS. She was in Wish, which we'll call that a draw. Argyle, House of Spoils, Craven the Hunter, and now Love Hurts. And she's in an upcoming Stephanie Lang film starring that one may not be bad. Starring Rose Byrne, Dominic Sessa, Demi Lovato, Ariana, Octavia Spencer, and Simon Rex. And then she's in a adaptation of King Lear called Lear Rex. Girl, please find better movies. You have a great personality, but I need you to be in good movies so I can actually defend you. Key, it's fine. This was your first leading film post Oscar win. I'm willing to give you a pass. Just find something better.
Danny McBride is producing a TV series centered on the entrepreneur character Royce DuPont. It will be a mockumentary format. And Almost Friday also sold an ensemble sitcom and an original movie to Hulu and another series to Netflix.
Lovely.
We are apparently getting a Magic the Gathering movie in development at Legendary. Hasbro's plan is to make a cinematic universe.
See, here's the thing. As someone who plays the game, there was talks of this movie like 6-7 years ago, so I'm not holding my breath.
Another great Anthony Mackie quote for just his career and where he's, launched it to. He reflected on playing Captain America and said, "My father was told he had to drop out of school in 8th grade to pick cotton with my grandfather, and I'm Captain America." That's pretty cool. In terms of just family growth for him.
One thing we would be remiss to shout out is the Philly girl who shouted out Bella Kenwood.
Yeah, my queen.
Our queen.
Shout out to Sabrina Carpenter.
Congrats on the Grammy wins.
Well deserved. She's iconic. Girl Meets World star. I am working to try to get Mark Blutman on this show. creator of Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World, because he has a new show coming out pretty soon alongside Danielle Fishel. So he follows OTB. He's a fan of our lacrosse content. So trying to get Mark Blutman on this show. Shout out to Mark. He's amazing. On February 14th, Flow releases on Max.
Everyone, please watch. Kyle, I would love to see your reaction to that movie because it's basically a silent film.
Yeah, I saw stuff about this. I'm intrigued.
It's the only pseudo dialogue is literal animal sounds of dogs and capybara and cats and everything. It's a great movie. It's a great movie, man.
I also like this. The Academy is looking at requiring films to disclose if AI was used to be eligible for the Oscars.
Here's my take on this. This will meaningfully do approximately nothing because to certain degrees, AI is being used in movies for visual effects and for various other things. So it's like, oh no, like it's being used to help do voice correction. God forbid. Oh, like, and even when it comes to the whole thing with The Brutalist, from everything I've read and having seen that, there's this weird slideshow running in the background of the final scene, and it was used for part of stuff in that apparently without the director's knowledge. So it's like, I don't know, like it's pretty innocuous overall, but I do think it's worth like being to the kind of like, hey, like this is what it was used for, but also we just have to recognize that AI used in certain ways is fine. AI used in other ways is not fine.
This absolutely cracked me up. Michael Bay got arrested after breaking into the Vatican.
See, I don't know if he actually got arrested. I couldn't tell.
I don't know how I feel about this. Hans Zimmer is in talks to recreate Saudi Arabia's national anthem.
So here's my thoughts on that. Fuck it. It's really funny. I would love for him to just remix the Dune and just turn that into the Saudi Arabian national anthem because it would be peak comedy. Yeah, like I'm like I don't know, like it's a national anthem. I'm fine with it. I don't care. Like oh, it's Saudi Arabian. Like it's a national anthem. Why am I supposed to care?
The Hollywood Reporter reports that Krista Milotti says it's her, quote, wildest hope and dream to return as Sophia Falcone in her own spin-off or the Batman films. Quote, I'd be there in a heartbeat. Yes, our Cherry Hill queen.
I think the latter is more likely, and also congratulations to her tonight on winning the Critics' Choice Award.
That's awesome. South Jersey, stand up.
Standing up.
Did you see Rachel Brosnan almost revealed a secret for Superman?
No, but I'd rather you not say it.
It was on a red carpet, but didn't happen. And
nothing happened. These are not the leaks you were looking for.
Nicholas Hoult says he's wanted to play Lex Luthor for a long time. Quote, there's so much I want to do with the character. He was also asked if Lex Luthor is right about Superman. Quote, if someone had ultimate power and the ability to do anything, then what happens when what he does doesn't align with everyone's belief of what is right?
I mean, there's a great quote that I have to dig up where isn't there some Lex Luthor quote about like uh about that, something along the lines of like you both can't have the power and be kind. I was fed it on social media. I'm trying to find it.
It's going to be a fascinating film for sure. Oh, last thing I have here. I don't know if this made it to your absolutely insane film and movie timeline. Did I bookmark it? I think I did, because it was that goddamn funny that I had to bring it up on this show. The absolute scenes here, when this popped up on my timeline, I was like, excuse me?
Well, while you're digging it up,
yeah,
the greatest Oscar campaign implosion in history is finally starting to wrap its way up with Carla Sofia Gascon, where people uncovered tweets from her being Islamophobic, critiquing the Academy becoming more diverse, and basically a ton of other things. She then did an interview without talking with Netflix, saying like, someone planted these tweets. By the way, these tweets are from like 4 years ago. So I don't know who planted these tweets, but no one was doing this 4 years in the making. Did like, this is a witch hunt type stuff. Then continued to dig herself a hole in a second interview, and it's gotten to the point where Netflix removed her from the Oscar promotional material and is no longer paying for anything involving her. And basically, her co-stars have basically entirely disowned her. And she's still nominated for lead actress.
interesting.
So congratulations, Carla. You may have single-handedly sunk your film's Best Picture chances.
I have found the obscure film, Christian, directed by Violent Night director Tommy Wirkola.
Oh God! I saw Violent Night in theaters. I was underwhelmed.
Spermageddon. We got our first trailer.
Sounds like something that belongs in The Simpsons.
The film follows a teenage couple having first-time sex while Simon, spelled Simen, the seaman, and his friends go on a quest for the egg. And it currently has an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Anyway,
that's all we got for you guys on this one. Make sure you're following us on the socials at StreamerSZN and StreamerSZN Pod on TikTok. Subscribe to the pod on Apple and Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's time for me to start watching Game of Thrones Season 1. Hachi Machi, we have made it. But keep subscribing. And this has been another edition of StreamerSZN, the exclusive streaming platform TV and movie podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For Harrison, for Christian, I'm KB. Go Birds! And we're going to whip, hopefully, to Hoist and Lombardi. But until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.